Hello, I'm Crickets and welcome back to I Have a Story. I've been bringing you the real stories that are taking place here in the state of Michigan, and I can understand how they seem absurd and totally unbelievable, even though I try to bring as many receipts as I can pull. What's going on here is horrible. I've been airing the stories about what's going on here in our court systems and our justice system. I've got a lot more to bring, a lot more really big stories. And if it all sounds so crazy, then you can understand why I'm going crazy and losing my mind. Because this is real, and this is my life. This is what's happening to me, my children, and my community, and I can't live with it. So I've been airing the story about these judges and the investigation that has taken place. And all the way back in, what was it, the first week of November, give or take, I aired the story about how a judge hit and ran a victim, leaving a bar intoxicated. Our news, as you've seen, I've been airing these stories, and at the end of this video, I will link a folder, breaking news, where I've been airing these stories, and it's not hard to find the headlines that I've posted regarding this case. I used to link them along in the videos, but I've dealt with it myself trying to watch other videos and go back and try and find those links throughout the video, which is kind of why I stopped doing that. So please, understand what I am putting myself in the position of, even being underneath this judge when it happened, and him still being on the seat. Do you understand the dangers I face sharing you these stories? And the best chance I have of survival and not ending this case the wrong way is for you to like, subscribe, share, help me grow and get heard. Now our news, almost a year and a half later, is finally airing the story. I aired the story about the hit and run approximately 2 weeks after it happened. And then approximately 2 weeks later, these stories with the news and their reports are all in my breaking news folder. They want to, I don't know, how do they know? I know they know what is going on because we have forced them and told them. That's why they aired it almost a month after the hit and run. But yet they want to come out on the news and say, we don't know who did it. We need your help trying to find out who did it. They knew who did it. They already had his car, his phone, all the way back in October. So why is it almost a month after the incident the news comes out and says, we don't know who did it. We need your help. I mean, usually if a hit and run takes place and there's a criminal on the run, we put out an APB immediately and go after that criminal. Part of why I don't trust the news. I've already shared stories about the Mackinac Bridge jump attempts and so many stories I still have yet to air that our news will not cover. So I'm bringing them to you. You want to know what really happens here in the state of Michigan? I call it the state of confusion because that's all it is to me anymore. I'm bringing you the real stories. So now, almost a year and a half later, the news is finally airing some of the real story. Now, back then when I aired those stories and they were coming out even after, I don't know how long it was, even after it was the investigation on these two judges that took place, and the news came out and still said, we don't know what started this investigation. How could they not when I knew about it back in October when it happened? How does our news not know? Well, I know they know because we have been telling them and forcing them to push this investigation. And they still want to come out and claim we don't know anything. Part of why I don't trust the news. So as you can see here, the news is finally pulling up these reports. The initial release of documents concerning a hit-and-run crash involving Upper Peninsula judge confirms some suspicions despite heavy redactions. 6 months after the UP News first filed for an FOIA, which is a Freedom of Information Act request, that's how you legally do it. This is why we have this Freedom of Information Act, is so that we have the real stories. But we still don't get them when it comes to certain people. As you follow along here, you're going to see what I'm talking about. 6 months after the news filed for the FOIA request, a sample documents from 43,000 plus pages of incident report confirms that the judge was accused of being involved in a hit and run crash. all the way back on October 23rd of 2024. That was you or me. Wouldn't we be in jail today? Immediately the day it happened? But you best believe nobody's above the law, right? Well, I'll be bringing more to that. So let me ask you something. If the things that I have been told about the very, very terrible misconduct inside the court, outside the court, if all of that is not true, which, again, you can find these stories in my breaking news folder at the end, as long as YouTube lets me have folders at the end. More to share with you about how I'm kind of feeling like YouTube's trying to suppress me with what they're doing to me, trying to make these videos and upload them. More to come in the future, and I've got so much more breaking news that you're not even going to believe it. Oh, excuse me. So, let me ask you something. I brought to you the case that was aired by our news channel, and you can get the full document in its entirety off my channel in my breaking news folder. I've aired it several different aspects of this report. A report about judges' bias acts on a bench. That case was less than 200 pages for the entire case. Let me ask you something. Does a hit and run incident require 43,000 plus pages of document? Imagine the things that I've already shared with you from what I'm being told throughout our whole community, the things that have taken place to me, that what all could possibly even be in those documents. But we don't know because our court systems don't want to release the information, even though legally they are supposed to. They redacted like 90%, all the pertaining information to these 43,000 documents. I'll be sharing more here as you follow along. Now, it says here that they filed for the one judge to be removed from criminal cases. Now, I talk about the redaction. The only time that our court systems are supposed to not give us that information is when it's in the interest of national defense or foreign policy. Now, does protecting a judge who's committed severe crimes, does that fall underneath the interest of national defense or foreign policy? How can they legally deny us these documents and give us the information? This isn't national security, is it? Well, I guess it's just more of the system protecting what's theirs, because that's all I see out of these systems. They only protect themselves. They don't protect victims. They sure as hell don't protect the children, especially when I aired the story, which I'll link this specific video in at the end of this video, that I found that they are stealing federal tax funds and pocketing it. Our court systems are, and they're putting the money in their own pocket. These are major acts that are being committed here that are severely wrong. But as you can see, they responded to the request. It remains unclear why investigators sought to extract digital information in relation to a hit-and-run case, whether investigators suspected the judge to be involved, and why the AG's office has yet to make a decision on this case. Well, it's because titles and paychecks, that's what it's all about. They don't care about the people. I've already proven that in the reports that I've already aired. Sections that are redacted include fields for the victim, witness, suspect, and large portions of the officer's narrative. The final 10 pages of the report are completely redacted. What's the point of giving out information when you won't give out the information? In their denial, the MCSO, which is Mackinac County Sheriff's Office, cites the Crime Victims' Rights Act and their desire to not interfere with law enforcement proceedings among their reasons for the redactions. So they won't even tell you why they won't redact it, why they won't give you what is redacted. Again, if this was me or you, any everyday citizen, is this how it gets treated? I'll be showing you more of that in just a minute. The Michigan General's Attorney's Office has not responded to our requests for comment. Of course, they don't want to talk about anything that's happening with their own system. Only want to attack people. What is not redacted? All they gave him was the file class. It was a hit and run, the date, and they cite the place that it happened, which was Johnny's on 2, a bar. That's the only information that they want to give? Other fragments indicate something was seized with a digital extraction was performed on at least one device, which was his phone, and at least 2 deputies worked the investigation for at least 3 days. I'm going to share with you everything that was posted here on the screen that the news put out on their website and their app. You can go to myupnow.com and find the story yourself. Now, this is proof that, right here on your screen, this is proof they only care about covering their own butts. The judge who got caught in the act of bias in court, he was caught because of the phone that was taken from the other judge at this incident, and through the investigation and text messages that were aired, he doesn't feel he deserves to be in any sort of trouble because of how they obtained that information. Well, I didn't have nothing to do with that hit and run. Why are you guys coming after me? These people think they're above the law. Now, this judge he's in a seat and swore to under oath to protect our community and to take care of criminals. But not when it's him. He'll come up with any excuse he can to not, oh, you guys didn't have a right to include me in there. It doesn't matter that I did wrong. It doesn't matter all the bad that I've done. You found that under investigation for something else, so why are you pointing the finger at me? I mean, God, these people think that they're just gods. All right, that this investigation has nothing to do with me. Why are you looking at me? Well, what's really messed up too is he was removed from one court system, which this is something I never knew. I mean, as this whole entire case unfolds, I'm learning more and more and more about our legal system. Did you know judges practice and sit on the bench in different courthouses? I thought you just had one. I mean, maybe if they pertain to one courthouse and the cases in their courthouse, they'd be able to handle this stuff. But I guess you can't when you're just as guilty as the criminals you are supposed to be incriminating. Now, it's funny that they asked for the information on December 8th. It only took 5 hours for them to complete the redactions. I mean, I don't even know how it took 5 hours. They asked for about roughly a dozen pages, which we'll get to here in a minute. And they just crossed out 90% of what was there. How long did that took 5 hours? But then it's going to take more than 5 weeks just to get the information to the news. Drag their feet and hope that people forget and give up? Is that what this is? Because that's what it feels like to me. How does it take more than 5 weeks to send the information? Especially in a day of the digital age that we are in today. You should be able to just push a button and send it to them. We shouldn't even have to be mailing stuff. But we'll take almost a month and a half to get it to you. Their estimates for the entire document, they want to charge the news channel almost $22,000 just for the document containing those pages. And how much of that would be redacted and any information ever be getting out of it? $22,000 for our news to be able to access that information? I really see that they're just trying to CYA. Cover your anus. Don't want this information out there. So please help me get this information heard so that we can push these court systems to start doing what's right. They narrowed down their request to the first and last 10 pages of the report, which cost them $11. 90% of it was, I don't want to say 90%, almost all of it was redacted, and it only cost them $11 to get that, and still took almost a month and a half to get it to them. The question as to how the text messages were obtained went largely unanswered. Well, I was able to answer that all the way back in 2024. How is it our news and these people, they don't, again, they're just trying to cover I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of it. And I'm sorry, but they made it personal with me, with what they did to me and to my case. Because in those 43,000 pages, I'm questioning, through his phone, did they find out more court misconduct? Let me ask you, why is it that one court system found the judge guilty and took him off the bench and said he can no longer practice in our county, but yet he's still on the bench in his own jurisdiction where he resides? They said, well, he's okay here. We'll let this continue going on in our court. We don't care. But yet the other courthouse denied him to be able to sit on the bench in their court. It's not, I mean, I'm so sick of this. I am so sick of this world not being about right and wrong. It's all about titles and paychecks. Are you kidding me? After a spokesperson from the Mackinac County Sheriff's Department confirmed no charges had been filed. How? If this was me or you, we would be in the slammer immediately. But nobody's above the law. Now, he was found to be biased against them due to disparaging remarks and other attorneys made between the judges. You can see right here, one court system found that he was biased, but only in one system, not the system that he generally practices in, the one that he's at the majority of the time. Oh, there, it's okay. How can anybody follow the law when the laws are used and twisted and don't actually even exist? How am I supposed to stay a legal citizen? How am I supposed to not get in trouble when our laws are just made up day by day by who you are and what they feel like doing on any given day? This is all wrong. I'm sharing with you on the screen with what the entirety of this report is. Now I'm going to tell you, I made this video. Nobody's above the law. This woman got caught stealing roughly $4,000 some odd dollars in state benefits. $4,000 some odd dollars. And she was immediately charged, immediately arrested, and got grand larceny in the 3rd degree. But if you're this woman and you steal almost $28,000 in tax funds, all we do is make a TV show about you. How is this legal? How is this proper? How this not? I can't see how it possibly can be. Titles and paychecks, again, it's all this. Welcome to America, the land of delusion and lies. That's all it is. You steal $4,000, you go to jail if you're a citizen. But if you have a title and paycheck and steal almost $28,000, you get headlines. Oh yeah, if you take $20 million of tax funds and give it to your friend who gave to you money and helped get you elected, that's okay. That is not a crime. But if you steal $4,000 as a everyday citizen, you're going to jail. Nobody's above the law. And we can't even pay our EMS. Our EMS director came out. Again, here's from the same news channel. She reported to the same news channel, we can't get paid for our services from the state. We don't have the money. They're not giving us money. They're not paying us what they're supposed to be paying us because they claim they don't have the money. But yet we've got money to give away left and right to, well, again, titles and paychecks. It's what it's all about. You get caught with kiddie porn on your phone, you go to jail. Well, I've already been sharing what I've heard throughout my whole community. Every single person. There's not a single person out of countless people I have talked to, all the way from the top of the ladder, all the way to the people in the streets. But if you're a judge, again, what's in those 43,000 pages? And we finally got the proof 1.5 years later. It took almost a year and a half. This was October of 2024. News kept coming out saying, we don't know what's going on. We don't know why this investigation is taking place. We don't even know who did the hit and run, even though back in October they knew who did the hit and run. They already took his car, already took his phone in October of 2024. And it took almost a year and a half for our news to finally come out and air the full story. And they're not even airing the full story yet. Again, in part because our agencies are keeping it from them. But we're supposed to believe nobody's above the law. We're supposed to follow the laws ourselves. When how can I follow the law when I don't even know what the laws are anymore? Because these people, what they have done, it's unbelievable. Now I will tell you, this is the same judge. Do you have to be an attorney to figure this out? Once a divorce is finalized, isn't it final? Everything prior to that divorce said and done? Even when you agree on payments and settlements and all of that? But yet in the middle of a court date, not even filed for this, we're in the middle of a court date for something else. My ex-wife says, I want another $14,000 for the year prior to my divorce. Wait, we already said, the judge looked at me, and we already settled that. That was all said and done before the divorce. The divorce is final. The judge still put me $14,000 in arrears in child support, almost give or take a year after my divorce was finalized. Just because she asked for it. Do you have to be an attorney to figure out whether that's legal or not? Again, how do I follow the law when we don't have them? They just make them up as we go along. They have revoked my civil, my constitutional rights, my parental rights. This is all illegal. You understand now why they made it personal. And why this is personal to me. These are my children, my rights, my freedom. There's nothing more to live for. There's also nothing more to die for. I will try to link in at the end of this. I don't know why it's not on my screen. I can't see all of this. My court docket number. Anybody can pull my information. Anybody. And I'm partly leaving this because I'm sending this to so many different agencies, and I've still got a lot to air about what I have sought help and who I've sought help through. But don't nobody care, because I don't have the right title and paycheck. I'm a white American man. We have no rights in our country. It's been denied to me for jobs. It's been denied to me for legal and constitutional and civil rights. My children, all of it has been completely 110% illegally denied to me. Anybody can pull that information. If you think any of these court documents that I have shared is false, you go pull those I've given docket numbers. You pull that information yourself. It's public information. You can pull the court transcripts and see every single thing I have aired, showed you is true. So the help I need from you is to please help me get heard. Help me grow this channel. Because I don't want to die. But I'm ready to.